Okay, finally, a month after it was announced at that September event, the new iPad Air is finally here. And it turns out, if anything out there is actually an iPad Pro killer, it's this. So the new design of the iPad Air matches the iPad Pro in basically every way. The boxy all aluminum shape feels rock solid. It's got these grippable flat sides. The buttons are in the same place. It's nice. It has the smart connector at the back, so you can drop it in a smart folio or even a Magic Keyboard case, just like an iPad Pro. You wanna know why? Because it is the Magic Keyboard case for the iPad Pro, and it just fits in the same case because it has the same dimensions. So there's your trackpad, there's your USB-C pass-through, because guess what? iPad Air also now gets USB Type-C. The quad speaker setup that surrounds the display also sounds phenomenal for a tablet, and you have basically the exact same bezel thickness all the way around, thin enough to not be a problem and still look good, but thick enough to actually hold the iPad from any angle and not have accidental screen touches. But then one difference about that bezel is inside it you won't find Face ID. There's just a regular 7 megapixel front-facing camera up there, and instead of Face ID, Touch ID is back, and it's built into that power button up top. Around the back, iPad Air literally gets the same 12 megapixel primary camera as the iPad Pro, but you'll note it's just a single camera by itself and a mic, no flash, no ultra wide, no LiDAR. But I mean, if you think about it, how often do you need an ultra wide or a LiDAR sensor or even a flash for your tablet photography? I'd say pretty much never. So all of these things missing mean almost nothing to most people. And then the iPad Air has the new Apple Pencil support. It snaps onto the side of the iPad to charge and pair the same way as the Pro, so that's pretty sweet. And then inside, iPad Air actually has the even newer 5nm A14 Bionic chip instead of the A12Z currently in the Pro. So you can actually expect very similar, sometimes even better benchmark numbers on paper. But the point is, despite its slightly lower 4 gigs of RAM, it's going to perform great. So on the surface level, everything iPad Pro does, iPad Air basically also does, except refresh rate. So iPad Air is of course at the standard 60 Hertz that we're used to on every other Apple device, except the ones with Pro Motion like iPad Pro, which are at 120 Hertz. But I've always said in the past, and it's still true here, Apple also makes some of the smoothest 60 Hertz devices. And smoothness, of course, is not a problem at all here. It's standard. And actually, battery life is also potentially even better on this iPad Air because it never has to hit 120 Hertz. It's just chilling at 60, and it's using the more efficient 5nm A14 chip. So this new iPad takes a lot of great stuff from the Pro, brings it down in price, and that's why you could call it an iPad Pro killer, but really it's just living alongside it for a lot of people. Either way, thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one.